Here's the man who brought us the news, the NFL insider, Chris Mortensen. How did it get done?
Well, I don't want to take credit for the news, but how it went done, these talks have been ongoing for a while. In fact, teams have been calling the Bengals, not just the Raiders, but the Raiders have a connection, obviously, and it got urgent with Hugh Jackson, their head coach, who's connected to Carson Palmer in Cincinnati, going back even beyond that. And one thing about this deal is when Jason Campbell got hurt with the broken collarbone, it created a new urgency, and all of a sudden the Raiders were willing to give a first-round draft pick next year, and that's all they had basically to give. They didn't have a second, third, or fourth, but then it was in 2013, that was the key, and it's a second-rounder in 2013 that becomes a first-rounder if the Raiders win a playoff game this year. So it's a first and second-rounder on paper right now. Second-rounder can become a first-rounder in 2013 if, in fact, the Raiders win a playoff game.
What's up? It's me. Here with Dylan.
What it do?
It's time for another What I Think video. And this is going to be, of course, as you could see, Carson Palmer being traded to the Oakland Raiders.
What?
Now, some people don't think it's a good idea. Most people do, but some don't, because they argue if Carson Palmer's worth a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick. I don't know if he's worth a first and a second. And if the Oakland Raiders win a playoff game this year, that turns into 2 first-round picks.
He does. He does.
So is he worth 2 first-round picks? I don't think he is. Will the Oakland Raiders win a playoff game? I don't even know if they're going to go to the playoffs. But a lot of people are still saying that Carson Palmer is a very good quarterback, which he is. He's got a lot done in his career. He's a very good quarterback. And they think he's going to be good for Oakland, but you got to think about something. When he was with Cincinnati, he had Chad Johnson / Ocho Cinco to throw the ball to. Who is he going to throw it to in Oakland?
It's a very good question.
There's always Darius Hayward-Bay, but I really don't think he is that good. I mean, he's an okay receiver, but he's not that good. So, do you think it was a good trade?
I do not think it was a good trade.
So what do you think? Because, you know, Jason Campbell, their starting quarterback, got injured. So that's part of the reason why they took Carson Palmer. So with Jason Campbell down, who do you think, or what do you think the Oakland Raiders should have done?
Well, I'm going to go back and say it might have been a good thing for Cincinnati because their backup quarterback is the starter now, and he is doing really good.
Yeah, it was a very good trade for Cincinnati.
It was a good trade for them. I think it's going to be a pretty good trade for Raiders too, because, like you said, Campbell's hurt. I think he'll step up for the Raiders and do what he did for the Cincinnati.
I do agree with you there. I mean, he will improve Oakland a lot more than any quarterback could, I think. But if I were to get any quarterback other than Carson Palmer that was available at the time, I know he's not available technically, and a lot of you aren't going to agree with me on this, and Dylan probably won't agree with me on this, but you know, the whole situation in Minnesota, they're going to start Christian Ponder now. So I thought maybe go after Donovan McNabb. Just because of the simple fact that Oakland doesn't have any good receivers, right? Like, they don't have any really good receivers. But Donovan McNabb can scramble.
He can.
So,
but he's gotten really old.
He has. I mean, he's not a good quarterback anymore. And, you know, it's not like, I'm not saying that Donovan McNabb was the one they should have went for and just leave Carson Palmer out, because I do think Carson Palmer will be a great fit for Oakland. I just think you got to start slow with it and go with Donovan McNabb before you jump to somebody as big as Carson Palmer. Like, you know, you can't expect Carson Palmer to come into Oakland and expect to know a playbook like Oakland's just like that. Because Oakland and Cincinnati are 2 completely different teams. So when you bring in a star quarterback who hasn't even played since the preseason and bring him into a team that's completely different than his other team, that's going to hurt him a lot more. Donovan McNabb, on the other hand, is used to losing now that he's with Minnesota. So you bring him in, and he'll be calm because he's used to it. He's been through it a lot. Carson Palmer is used to winning, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. Raiders aren't that great of a team.
Well, this year they're 4-2.
I think he can turn things around.
Yeah. I mean, looking back in retrospect, I think Carson Palmer may have been the better pick over Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's not like. I mean, it is Donovan McNabb. Even though he is doing bad this season, it's Donovan McNabb. You know, the guy who used to lead Philadelphia to playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you keep Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia, he would not be as bad as he is today. That's just my opinion. I don't think he would be as bad. But you know.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So that's probably going to do it for us. It wasn't a very long subject. It was just a trade. And I know a lot of you already heard about it, but just wanted to get that out there and everything, get our opinions on it. We both think it was a good trade for the Cincinnati Bengals and an okay trade for the Raiders because they did get a star quarterback, but they lost 2 potential first-round picks. I don't think Carson Palmer is worth 2 first-round picks, so we'll just have to see what happens. Any last words?
That's about it.
So that's going to do it for us. It's the Nathan Blankenship with Dylan, and we are signing out.
Way.
Deuces.
I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in. Leg out. Yellow model cheese.